one thing about me is that I love pink. And one thing for you is that I want to show you the difference between wealth and prosperity and how does that affect the business. First of all, you have two options. Always you have options, and one option is whether you want to grow wealth or want to grow prosperity. But please keep in mind that everyone has its purpose and everyone has its importance, and you cannot live just with one. You need both of them, okay? But there are some risks and there are some advantages, and let's dive in together to see what are those. For the wealth part, there is the most advantage is that it holds the symbols of power. When you have wealth, you have social status and you have the money and you have all the resources and all the power, including influence power. So that can be very flattering, and that you need that. Everyone needs that. Everyone needs power. Everyone needs the power to influence, because otherwise you couldn't create things, you wouldn't do anything. So we need that. But there's a fine line. If you live your life just for that, the world will come against you. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I haven't lived that scenario, but I think we all know that kind of burden, at least as a vibe. So there is one thing, and in the same time, we have another path. And that path is about prosperity. Now, prosperity has much more to do with internal stuff and the relationships and all the stuff that is important, but it does not translate into symbols of wealth. If you have just pure wealth, you will be, oh my god, I won't want to be in your skin, because that's very painful to live. If you have just prosperity, you might have everything that you need. Maybe you won't have all the social status and the power, the social power and all the money as a symbol of power, but maybe you have enough resources. When you want to have just the prosperity, it's also a trap. Even though we might think that this is just so much light and so much love within the prosperity pathway, you also need to take into account the wealth, because sometimes the wealth is making its way to sustain the prosperity and the relationships, and for that we need both. The trick is how we calibrate them. I just saw that this circle is bigger than this one. Okay, it's not relevant. Yeah, it's not relevant. What's relevant is the balance. You need to balance those two. And sometimes this balance is very different from person to person. Let's say, for example, that you do have wealth, but you also lack some kind of connections, and you need there to find a way to just fulfill yourself, fill your cup, and feel nurtured again. And sometimes it's really hard. With wealth or not, it's hell. It is hell. Yes, it's hell. Yes, it is. That was a speed of mine. Yeah. Oh, and there is this scenario when you have too much wealth, you need to calibrate with connections, and sometimes it's harder to find relationships and people to nurture you in the way that you want. So therefore, you need a special extra care for you to enrich yourself. And here, wealth can be such a great resource for you to fulfill yourself. Oh, and I have a thing here. If you are in this scenario, I would recommend to you the Julia Cameron, the book, The Vein of Gold. And in that book, you will find out that we as humans, we have different archetypes. And sometimes one archetype of ours needs to be much more nurtured. And it's so fantastic how that book describe how to take those parts of you, how to identify them, and how to nurture yourself in order to feel much more fulfilled and to find much more fulfillment in the context that you are in. If you have much more, let's say, prosperity is a very tricky thing, but let's say you don't have wealth. If you don't have wealth, there's also things that you can do. And those things include a lot of steps that might be available to you. and maybe the best idea is to follow whatever feels right to you, whatever you want to explore, whatever you feels like you want to explore that part. And this can be a lot of ways, this can be a lot of things that you can be drawn to, but just listening to what you are attracted to and follow that can be a very, very good step. But if you are in a place when you need much more wealth or need more money or more resources, there are some books that helps, some books as processes and as they are. And for that, I know that there is, I'm quoting Julia Cameron, and the book for that place is Money Drunk, Money Sober, and Prosperous Heart. Even though the title is not about money, it is related to money, because sometimes prosperity is not about money. It includes money, but it does not include money. And whatever the case, if you need more wealth, those two books are available. I will try, this is the first time when I'm letting some links into descriptions, but I will refer these books. If you cannot purchase these books because they are not on the market, I guess, please let me know if you're interested in them. I might be able to provide you some ideas. I have 2 books, more are to come, but it's not about the books, it's about the process I've been living with them. And I can provide great insight from those books. Let's go to the scenario when you're prosperous. When you're prosperous, it's a little bit of everything, and every single person can feel that the prosperity is different for each of us. And it's hard for me to talk about this topic, because a lot of my time I committed my life into creating wealth, thinking that this is my way out. But what I was looking for was true prosperity. Because even though when I had that 6-figure contract, was that 6? 7-figure contract, it just was such a burden. I couldn't do it. I needed that, actually. So prosperity is something that it's something that you must know what it is for you. Maybe for you, prosperity is to have enough time to be free, not to have any schedule. Maybe prosperity to you means to have relationships that are nurturing you. Maybe prosperity means that you can produce all the things that you want to create. Maybe prosperity means that you can link the right people with them together so that they can improve to your life. Maybe prosperity for you means just to be at peace. And maybe prosperity for you means to just fulfill your dreams. Maybe prosperity also can mean to develop much more wealth and to use that in ways that are supporting you and the loved ones. That is kind of the prosperity. But one thing that I can say about this thing is that it also come as enough. And oh my god, I have so many stories regarding this topic. I have so much to offer that in this short video, which is so short compared to what I have to offer, is that one thing is that to find sufficiency in every single day. Because no matter the way, no matter how broke you are, no matter how broke and broken at the same time you are, you can find things, little things that are enough for today. And if you live by that, I mean for a single day, just to finish the day, just have enough for today, things can brighten up a bit. Also, what can happen and what can improve this prosperity thing is to find things that you love. And when you find things that you love, you will find that your heart is much more open, you feel much more relaxed, and you will get much more inspired to do things or not to do, or to rest. And that's something else. Maybe prosperity has something to do with friendships, maybe family, maybe whatever the things that it's important to you. But this is such an adventure that if you want to be prosperous, it's much more than accumulating or making more money. And for that, I have a lot of resources to share. If you want me to share them with you, I would please ask you to leave a comment or ask me, whatever the way, particularly the subject that you're interested in. So, if you have wealth, be grateful for that. If you want more health, try to develop much more of a prosperity, whatever that prosperity means to you. And please know that prosperity means much more than having wealth. Wealth is just a part, can be a part of prosperity. And prosperity can be something that you create, not something that is given. And sometimes just to make just a little step today, just a tiny, insignificant step today, may count so much in the future. Maybe tomorrow you will do another step towards prosperity, and that will also count. You know, it's like taking like little coins every single day, and sometimes after 1 year, after 2 years, you will find yourself in another place. And that's maybe that's the safest way. Maybe that's the easiest way, not the hardest. It's not the hardest. The hardest is trying to achieve wealth with all costs. I think that's the hardest part. And I've been through all, unfortunately or fortunately, because now I'm able to tell you more. But if you are on this journey, or if this topic is just, you are drawn to this topic, my idea for you is try to put something into your account, like literally an idea, a thought that is making you feeling better, and do that every single day. Especially what makes you feel better about safetyness, about connections, about whatever is important to you. And in that way, little by little, step by step, insignificant step with insignificant step will lead to something significant. And for that, please bear in mind that progress is so important on the long ride. And if today you did something absolutely simple, absolutely insignificant, that's my confirmation that that's progress.